Welcome back, folks. Today we'll preview all the general contents and accessories that's coming with the Swedish patch. So this patch is huge. It's likely that this patch is going to be the year-end's biggest event. So you have introduction of a whole new nation with 2 new tank lines that's full of 21 vehicles. That's a lot. That's double of the previous year's Czechoslovakians, the Waffenträgers, and the Japanese medium tanks. And all of those were the year-end events. So for the year 2016, the release of the Swedes is double the fun of previous years. So highly excited. But other than the tanks, we are also getting the Swedish crew speaking Swedish. We are also getting their emblems, inscriptions, camouflage patterns, and likely, possibly, a special map dedicated to the Swedes. So like how we have the Skoda factory for the Czechoslovakian tanks, we're getting a special night map for World of Tanks PC that's snowy and oceany, if that's a term. But yeah, pretty excited. So for this video, I'll cover all the general contents and accessories with this patch. So there's a lot of stuff. I divided all the contents into 3 videos. For the next 2 videos, I'll talk about the hybrid line with the medium/heavy tank line, a preview of that, and I'll talk about the tank destroyers afterwards. So where is Sweden? I live in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. So that's the middle of nowhere, USA. Like, I'm surrounded by hicks, so had to do the research. Sweden is a Scandinavian country in the northern parts of Europe, so Vikings for hicks like me, alright? It's bordered by Norway to the west, Finland to the east, and connected to Denmark by a bridge tunnel to the south. So like how UK, England, is connected to France-ish. So, alright, that's general geographics. It's the 3rd largest EU country by area with a population of over 9.9 million. So it's pretty low population and high concentration in the southern parts of the country. The northern parts are mostly tundra with a bunch of forest and rough terrain for vehicles. So it's about 85% of those who lives in city parts of the country. So wilderness is pretty wilderness, alright? But there haven't been a war in Sweden for over 100 years, and it has some of the best healthcare, highest gross income per capita, and the highest happiness index of a lot of the countries. So it's a pretty good place to live. Now, Sweden's tank history is a little bit lackluster compared to its happiness index. So the initial reasons for getting tanks is to protect the monarchy. So Sweden is governed by a king, but also governed by a prime minister. So kind of like England. Don't quote me on politics, I suck at it. So something like that. But tanks were meant for quashing rebellions and revolutions. So they saw the revolutions in France and Russia. So yeah, maybe need some tanks to help with the monarchy. So it's not initially for war with another country. And they purchased vehicles from the Germans, the LK2, renamed into STRV MF21s. So they only had 10 of those, but they developed their own vehicle. So the main reason that Sweden has such low number of tanks and not that crazy development of tanks is because their country is not that industrially developed compared to other countries like Russia or America or UK. So they don't focus that much on building expensive stuff to fight wars. They're peaceful people. So they bought vehicles from the Czechs, developed vehicles based on German and Czech designs, but due to economical and industrial reasons, so it costs a lot. So developments of tanks slowed and stopped in Sweden. So it's simpler and cheaper and faster to just buy vehicles from your allies. So they bought the light tank Visor 38, which is the Panzer 38T. They renamed it into the Stridsvagn. People keep messing me about the pronunciation. The Stridsvagn 41, the Centurion Mark IIIs, which became the STRV 81s, and the Leopard 2A5, the STRV 121 and 122. So that's pretty much of Swedish tank development history. But I highly recommend you watching Wargaming's actual documentary about developing Swedish tanks or Swedish tank development. So click on this picture right here to watch. Highly recommend you watching it. So Sweden in World of Tanks. So their vehicle mostly have average to decently armored frontal plates. So it could take a few hits, but you shouldn't. So the armor is like a mix between the Americans / the Czechoslovakians. You could bounce a few shots if you're lucky, but don't depend on it. So it has above average selection of guns. So they're pretty good armed. And some vehicles will likely have autoloaders with decent gun depression. So yeah, it's like 10 degrees of gun depression with autoloaders, or 8 degrees. That's pretty good. So the best analogy is a mix of American / French vehicles or Czechoslovakian vehicles with gun depression. Now, 2 lines initially, so a hybrid medium / heavy tank line with a tank destroyer line. So branch from a tier 1. There's going to be 21 vehicles in total with the premium STRV, M42, 57, alternate, blah, 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 blah. Already covered that. And we're likely getting the L60 for the New Year's gift vehicle. So we're getting a Swedish light tank as gift rather than a Russian tank. Surprise, surprise. But there's going to be 4 light tanks, 5 mediums, 3 heavies, and 9 tank destroyers. So a lot of diversity, but it's a hybrid line, so rough for crew training. But the Swedish premium consumable is coffee with cinnamon buns. I spoke that like a French. Cinnamon buns? What kind of accent is that? Cinnamon buns. There you go. So yeah, it looks like this. I have to zoom in. But yeah, kind of fuzzy. So what the hell is that thing? A box? I guess it comes in a box, but alright. Coffee with cinnamon buns. It has 18 male crew pictures with 3 female crew pictures. Why only 3 female? Okay. I mean, Swedish chicks are hot. Give more pictures, man. So there you go. Take a look at all the pictures of the dudes. This guy is pretty angry. So here are the ranks of the crew with their emblems. And the Swedes have olive green tank coloring with marks of excellence in yellow stripes. So kind of looks like Japanese vehicles or French vehicles, more like Japanese vehicles. So here are the camouflage patterns. So here is the ice breaking pattern that a lot of nations have. Here is the white one. Here is the woodland. And here is the desert. Even though Swedish people never visit deserts. There's no desert in Sweden. But yeah, pretty nice. And here is likely going to be the special dedicated map for the Swedes. So why do I say this? Is because it's one of those maps that has recently been focused on a lot more than other maps on the Supertest server. So it has the special HD texturing. It's going to be the first night map with destroyed boats in the background. So it looks amazing in my standards. It's likely going to be snowing. And yeah, night map. I love it. I mean, HD texturing, right? Compared to the other maps were not that HD textured. So here are other candidates, which doesn't look as good, but still night map with winter theme. Looks like they're modeling a battleship or aircraft carrier for this block. So not filled yet, but different map. It's daytime or dawn or dusk, but still not night map. But snowy slash watery as well. And here is the last one with a lake in the middle and a bunch of ice, glaciers. So interesting. That's the map. And here is the Swedish tech tree list. But I already showed you this. So they didn't have the STRV L60 or the Landsverk L60 right here. So we're likely going to get this vehicle as alternative to the tier 2 spot or as the New Year's gift. So not going to have a special Russian tank this year, I guess. And the STRV M42-57 also gets altered. So it doesn't have the single shot 75mm now. It gets an autoloader with 4-round clip. But I'll talk about the stat change coming tomorrow's video with the medium tank slash heavy tank hybrid preview. So there you go, folks. Bunch of the general contents and accessories that's coming with the Swedish patch. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.